Everyone's telling you AI automation for small business is dead, but they're wrong. And they're also right. And see, after delivering $7 million of work to my clients over the last 15 years, I've discovered something that is going to piss off half the industry. 85% of businesses should not be using AI automation. And the 15% who should, they're making millions, while everyone else is arguing about whether AI works or not. Now, in this video, I'm about to show you exactly how to identify the 15% that it does work for, and why focusing on them will triple your close rate overnight. Now, let me tell you about David. 3 months ago, he was crying on our Zoom call. He'd spent $47,000 on automation before we spoke, and his business was worse than before. And the worst part, I knew exactly why it had failed before he even told me the details. But here's what's going to shock you. David's failure wasn't even his own fault. It wasn't even his agency's fault. The entire industry has been categorizing businesses wrong, and it's costing agencies millions while destroying small businesses in the process. Look, I've been doing this since the early days. I was one of the first agencies selling email automation when everyone thought autoresponders were revolutionary. I launched ChatGPT services literally 2 weeks after it came out, and I've ridden every automation wave of technology for the past decade and a half. And that experience has taught me something crucial. The businesses that are succeeding with AI automation all have one thing in common, and it's not what anyone is talking about. It's not about having the latest tech stack. It's not about being innovation minded. It's something fundamental, yet the entire industry is missing it. I know you've seen the viral videos lately. AI automation is dead for small businesses. Hundreds and thousands of views. The comment sections are full of agency owners saying, finally, someone said it, and I get it. I respect anyone willing to share the honest experience. Now, as an industry, we need to do more of that. But here's my perspective after delivering over $7 million worth of automation projects. These videos are highlighting a real problem, but they're missing the bigger picture. The issue isn't that AI automation doesn't work for small businesses. The issue is they're categorizing businesses completely wrong. We've been, as an industry, been using revenue size when we should be looking at something entirely different. Look, let me share what 15 years in the trenches has taught me. Back in 2010, when I was implementing basic email automation, simple stuff, banner cart email sequences, some clients would see a 300% ROI, others a complete failure. Same templates, same strategy. And look, fast forward to 2019, and this is before the AI hype. I was working with 2 clients, both e-commerce clients, both doing about $150,000 a month. The first client implemented marketing automation, crushed it. We got a 30% revenue increase in 6 months. The second client implements the exact same system. Complete disaster. They lost over $100,000 in revenue. And that's when I really became obsessed. I went back through every project that I'd ever done, from those early email automation days through to Zapier integrations, chatbots, and now AI. 487 businesses, over $7 million in projects. And I found 3 indicators that predicted success with a 94% accuracy. But before I reveal them, you need to understand why most of the industry is getting it wrong. And it's honestly not their fault. A lot of this industry is new to business and they've never really worked in a business. So look, here's the uncomfortable truth about our industry. Most agencies, and when I started, myself included, we get excited about technology. We see what's possible and we want everyone else to experience it. When ChatGPT was launched, I didn't sleep for 4 days. And then I was one of the first people to offer services. Within 2 weeks, I had packages ready. But here's what I learned the hard way. Just because we can implement something doesn't mean we should. And the rush to sell AI to everyone is not a malicious thing. It comes from genuine enthusiasm and excitement. But enthusiasm without strategy destroys businesses. And that's what's happening right now. Agencies are trying to force fit AI solutions into businesses that just are not ready. It's like trying to install a jet engine on a bicycle. The technology is amazing, but the foundation cannot support it. So let's explore what makes a business ready. And that's where my framework comes in. Remember those 3 indicators I discovered? Well, here's the first one. Indicator number 1, the documentation test. If a business owner can show you their standard operating procedures within 5 minutes, they're ready for automation. If they can't, they need to get preparation first. I learned this the expensive way. Early in my career, I had a chiropractor, $3 million practice, super successful. Wanted to automate patient communication. I asked for their current patient journey documentation. His response, well, when patients come in, Sarah at the front desk kind of knows what to do. So look, I built the automation anyway. 3 months later, total disaster. AI was following processes that didn't actually exist. Sarah quit and nobody knew what she'd been manually doing to make things work. Now, contrast that with a HVAC company that was only doing 800,000. But they had every process documented. This guy was really detail orientated. Every customer touch point was mapped out. Everything was scripted. So we implemented a automation and their revenue doubled in 8 months. The difference? Documentation. You cannot automate chaos, guys. And you cannot solve their business problems with AI. But documentation is just the first indicator. The second one is where I've seen millions of dollars wasted. And this is where indicator number 2 comes in, the data cleanliness score. This is where David, remember him from the beginning? This is where his $47,000 went to die. In my 15 years, I've seen every version of data chaos you can imagine. And David's was textbook. 30% of customer data was in QuickBooks, 40% was random Excel files, and 20% was scattered around email, 10% was in his head, which means it didn't exist. So the automation his agency built was actually brilliant. Technically, it was perfect. But it was sending the wrong messages to the wrong people at the wrong time because the data was garbage. And look, here's my data reality check framework. Level 1, all customer data in one CRM database. Doesn't matter which one. Level 2, data updated in real time, not batched weekly. So that means the website forms integrate with the CRM. Level 3, less than 5% duplicate or incorrect records. Now, I had a real estate agency that came to me after failing with 3 different automation attempts. We spent 6 months, yes, 6 months, just cleaning their data. Their competitors thought they were crazy. Why not just start automating? These guys were in a mastermind, so they spoke to competitors every week, just in different markets. Now, 18 months later, they're doing $4 million more per year. Their competitors are still debugging why their automations are failing. And the third indicator is the one that goes against everything you've been told about AI. So indicator 3, the human buffer capacity. Look, after $7 million in projects, here's what I know for certain. When AI fails, it's only when every line of defense fails. Every successful implementation needs what I call human buffer capacity. That is someone who can jump in when AI does something unexpected. And in AI, we call this human in the loop. Because ultimately, it will. Look, true story, last year with a SaaS company. We implemented an AI support bot. Worked great for 2 months. Then it learned a pattern. Anyone who mentioned the word problem was unhappy. So it started auto-issuing refunds. Now, they survived because they had a human buffer capacity. A team monitoring the AI ready to intervene. Compare that with a solo consultant that I worked with in 2013 who implemented an AI booking system. I warned him about the human buffer capacity issue. He said he couldn't afford to hire someone. So the AI started double booking clients while he was on vacation, simply because he hadn't set his calendar correctly. That's where you need human buffer capacity. He had never told us that he was on vacation. His calendar didn't reflect he was on vacation. And he lost 12 clients in a week. So now you know the 3 indicators. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. And it's how to use this knowledge strategically. And strategically versus conceptually are very different things. So based on these 3 indicators, I categorize every business into 3 tiers. Tier number 1, this is the S tier. This is the AI-ready businesses. This is 15% of all businesses that pass all 3 indicators. These are the guys you can go and implement AI for tomorrow, and they'll see an ROI in 60 to 90 days. Tier 2 is the preparation phase. And this is where 35% of businesses fall. These guys fail 1 to 2 indicators, and they realistically need 3 to 6 months of prep work. This is where the real opportunity is. And tier 3 is the digital basics. And this is where 50% of all businesses lie. They fail all indicators, they don't have any foundation, and the challenge here is this is where most agencies burn out and fail, because they are selling to these guys. They're literally selling to people who are not set up to be successful. The easiest way to succeed in business is to sell to easy wins. Now, here's what I discovered after years of fighting this reality. Tier 2 is where sustainable agencies are built. Instead of trying to force AI on businesses that aren't ready developed, I've built what I call the ladder system. Tier 3 is basic digital organization projects. And this is where you want to charge $2,000 to $5,000. Tier 2 is system optimization projects. This is where you want to spend $10,000 to $20,000. Oh, this is where you want to charge $10,000 to $20,000, sorry. Tier 1 is AI automation projects. And this is where you'll get that $25,000 to $50,000 retainer because these guys are ready. Yesterday, I quoted a major law firm for a $12,000 build. Realistically, it's an afternoon build for me. They did not flinch. I'm expecting a check on Monday because they are ready. They pass all of these tests. They've got everything ready, and they know that 3 clients out of their 1,000 leads a month, if they close 3 extra clients, they make their money back. So this could be the same client, 3 transactions over 18 months. Now, what you want to be doing is you want to start with tier 3, build up till they're ready. So what you're doing is you're essentially building them up instead of setting them up to fail. Now, I've used this system to generate a lot of money in the last 2 years, and not by pushing AI on everyone, but by giving each business what their business actually needs for where they're currently at. Think of it like this. If you go and ask a Mr. Olympia bodybuilder how to build biceps, what he's doing at this stage versus what you need to do if you're a beginner bodybuilder are very, very different things. And this framework is all about that. This framework changes everything about how we approach the market. The old way as an industry that we did was, how can I convince businesses they need AI? Where the new way is, what tier is this business in? And what do they actually need right now? This isn't about abandoning AI or saying something doesn't work. And look, I've been in this game since email automation was cutting edge. I've seen every technological wave, and AI is the most powerful tool we've ever had. And when applied correctly, it is immensely powerful. Last week, I sent out a proposal for a $180,000 project with a verbal agreement, not for AI implementation, but preparing their business for AI to take over. They came wanting AI. They came wanting an automated system. I showed them their tier status. They hired me to get them ready first. And their competitors, from what they've said, have already spent a lot of money on chatbots, but they're not ready for it. So we'll see what happens. Now, ultimately, after 15 years, $7 million in projects, I can tell you this. The agencies that survive the next 5 years won't be the ones pushing the latest technology. They'll be the ones who understand readiness and ready to build situations. And they're going to build sustainable client relationships. So, I like an action plan. Here is your action plan. Step 1, audit your pipeline. Tag every prospect as 1, 2, or 3. If you do not know this, you need to get on another discovery call with them. Because if you don't have this mapped out, you're going to give them the wrong solution. Step 2, create your ladder. What can you offer at each tier? And please, if you are not experienced at systemization, don't offer systemization to businesses. You want to bring in someone who is experienced there, because building the wrong systems will blow up your credibility. And it's the one huge mistake that I see with young business owners is, guys, if you're 18 to 25, keep the enthusiasm up, keep pumping. That's what I did. That's how I'm here today. And I sought mentors who had walked the path before me and had the experience to help guide me when I was going to make a critical mistake. Now, step 3, stop the bleeding. Don't pitch AI to tier 2 or tier 3 businesses. Step 4, start the ascension. Build long-term client relationships. And look, we're all in this as an industry. because we believe in the power of AI. You're watching this because you believe that AI has the power to make enormous shifts to people and to businesses. And look, I've dedicated 15 years to this belief and believing that marketing, that digital technology and using technology in the right way can turn businesses around. Now, believing in technology doesn't mean ignoring business fundamentals. So when you see viral videos saying AI automation is dead, look, they're seeing the real problems. But the solution isn't to abandon AI. It's to get smarter about who's ready for it. You now have a framework that took me 15 years and hundreds of projects to develop. So you understand readiness indicators that most agencies will never figure out. And while everyone else is arguing about whether AI works and whether to use GPT or Claude, whether to build an agent or automation, you'll be building a sustainable business by giving each client what they actually need. And the question here is, will you keep trying to force AI on businesses that aren't ready? Or will you build something that is sustainable? Guys, the choice is yours.